Testing in två, testing in två. Bra. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tech Tuesday. Woo! So, my name is Christopher Cameron. I work at Linköping Science Park and I work here at Go to 10. Just a little quick thing about what I'm doing around here. See, I do a lot of events and I do a lot of community building. So if you see me out there, maybe in here, just come to me, ask me for community events or something else, and we'll have a nice little talk. To all the people out in cyberspace today, welcome to you as well. Here at Go to 10, there are different things you can do. Many of you know them, but there is a few new faces here, so I want to take them one more time. The first thing you could do here at Go to 10 is, if you don't like your colleagues, you can come here and work instead. You can still have your job, keep your job, but you can work from here. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you like your colleagues, you can actually bring them here and you can co-work here on this side, because maybe the spaces you have where you work is not that nice, so you can come here as well. And the third thing is, we do a lot of event here. This is a meeting place for the whole innovation system here in Linköping, here in Mjärdevi, and we are really, really happy when you do event as well. So if you're sitting with a little thing in the stomach and think, I want to teach about this, or I want to do an event about this, talk to us. This is the reason why we're here. But enough for me today. Now we are going to listen to some really, really interesting topic. So the stage is yours. Combitech, welcome.
I'm Jesper. We got warned from the, if they come a car with a lot of electronics, that we will hear that noise. So we continue. So I'm Jesper Tordenlid, and I'm from Linköping Combitech office here.
Yeah, hello. My name is Fanny Svan from Skövde. I work at Combitech with, well, mostly generative AI.
I'm Mohammed Alkayat. I am also from Skövde, and as I see, I'm an AI developer at Combitech.
Yes, so we're not gonna talk about Combitech. You're gonna say a very quick. No, we skip that. We go to the film start. So keep that on pause. So we're gonna give you an overview of what we are doing in a very big program called WASP, Wallenberg's AI Autonomy and Software Program, and we have used that in a research arena for public safety and build that arena to be more of an integration and innovation arena. And we're also adding from public safety to totalförsvar and the defense. And so we'll take you a very quick journey on that. And I'm going to start with showing a film of some of our events that will explain a little bit of what we're doing. And then we will dive into some examples in generative AI, how you can use that from a demonstration that you did last year and working with. So that will also introduce what Combitech are doing in that. And then I will come back and give a little bit more information of what's going on and what's happening and how can we use the arena together, because this is about collaboration and we want to collaborate. And I take a guess that we have a mix of students, startups. So do we have any students here? Great. Good guess. Startups? Some? No startups? No? Small companies? Big companies? I think, yeah. So we have some seniors knowing how can guide you also what we have done in the past that we should take care of. So we start with a film. This will give you a view of what is the arena now, and we are targeting. Everybody knows the horrible situation in the world and the need for solutions in the public safety. So play it. Welcome to the WARA-PS demonstration week. Here, innovation and research within AI and autonomy is showcased for industry, academy, and government agencies within the domain of public safety.
Knowledge sharing and explorative learning has always been a core value of WARA-PS. we showcase this by emphasizing research and industries in collaboration. This week, researchers from all over the world will bring their research to life in scenarios inspired by these challenges to promote the possibilities of AI and autonomy.
WARA-PS is a perfect place to conduct experiments in human-AI teaming and human-AI interaction because of the ability to fly, to perform operations on land, on the water and under the water at the same time.
The challenge is to find methods and approaches that allow computers to understand humans. If we are successful, we're going to be introducing different AI approaches and systems in a range of control domains, ranging from mines to air traffic control. For us, WARA-PS is an ideal environment for conducting experiments in this domain.
Our group has been involved in WARA-PS Arena since its beginning, so it's been now more than 7 years, and we've seen its evolution and its impact on industry and society. So from the research and academic perspective, the WARA-PS Arena is very valuable for PhD students and their education. It offers access to systems such as here, a spot robot, that otherwise would have been hard to acquire due to their price and complexity. When PhD students use the WARA-PS infrastructure, they can focus directly on the research problems that they are interested in. Other issues related to the complexities of these systems can be handled with the support of WARA-PS core team.
Well, I would say it's exhilarating being part of this research arena and this larger context, where I can witness my own research being part of such important areas as security and search and rescue.
This year focuses on some of the biggest challenges we are currently facing in the world, such as global warming, increased level of threat, and access to healthcare. These issues raise a question of how to handle a changing world, where we face both natural and intentional threats to our society.
With excellent research from WASP brought to Swedish industries, we approach our goal, a safe and resilient society, today and tomorrow.
So that was a quick introduction of the WARA-PS. All of the films are made from different events that we had. So the demonstration week was here from the last September, and it's an activity going on every September since 7 years ago. And we have also events in the spring. And this is some of the activities that we're doing, and it's open for almost everybody to join. As you saw in the film, a lot of different companies, different organizations, both from the academy and from the industry, but there's also a lot of government agencies. So what WARA-PS is a community of different projects working together, different labs, different organizations, and it's last year we counted up to 80 different organizations that really want to collaborate with the research projects. You don't need to start from the beginning all the time, and you can share the knowledge. And to highlight here, we got a lot of new startups coming in, and also investors and end users, which is very difficult to access. If you want to do real products, you need the end users. We have a system that you can integrate your algorithms, your products, your solutions, and to test it in real environment. And you will see an example of the generative AI using this system and integrate with simulated, and which can also be real agents like flying and robots in different domains. It is systems from the industries that we connect, but also from the university labs, and we can create data sets that can be reused, and we can configure it as the students or the organizations or the startups need for their work. So it's a collaboration platform together. So most of it you have seen in the movie here, the events coming up, the integration of the courses of the system, and you will see later on an command and control tool where you can work with the different tools and command vehicles. And yes, so then we will go to use this and go a little bit more details, and I will come back and give you the next step.
Yeah, thank you. So we're in Skövde. We're a generative or an AI team, and we thought, what could we do in WARA-PS this year? So we actually created I'm gonna go back to it, but an agent to read the data. And generative AI, I think we all know the baseline here. 2021, the world was baffled by generative AI and ChatGPT, and it's only been 4 years, and a lot of things has happened. It's revolutionized some parts of the industry and reshaped other parts. And the technology has expanded away from just generating text and becoming so much more. I think some of you know about RAG implementation, grounding the LLM brain in documents, and that's a really fascinating way of get rid of all the nonsense, hallucinations it can create. And this is another part that we're going to talk about today that we really enjoy. It's called function calling. So it's the way of extending the model's functionality beyond just text generation by enabling it to execute different actions. So it's, for us, the next step in combining programming logic with the LLM's powers to actually understand people. So I'm gonna do it first in the technology and then in the one example. So a user wants to know something, it asks a question, but the LLM needs to decide if it requires external information or not. Can I handle this on my own? And in my case, I have an example that, well, it won't be able to do. So then it has a couple of functions that we have decided. You have access to these functions and you can activate them. But the AI brain needs to realize what function to use, and then it needs to pass on the right variables, parameters to the function. And execute the function and get the result back, and then do its magic with the new information and reply this to the user in the way the user wants to receive it. So to make it more clear, let's say, what's the weather in Skövde today? Ask this to any LLM without internet, it won't have any clue. So the first thing it needs to know is, can I answer this? And in this case, no, I don't have that information in my brain. But I have a function that I can use that's called get weather from a city. And the LLM needs to realize this is the function I should use. And then it needs to realize what's the city I'm talking about. Well, in this case, Skövde. It's kind of easy for that one. When it executes, it gets back an answer, 4 degrees. And this is the information that you want to bring back to the user in the response. And this way, you can use a lot of different functions and integrate the AI brain together with the programming logic. So now we're going to talk a bit about our example for WARA-PS with the real-time data.
Yes, so as both my colleagues explained earlier, this WARA-PS has a lot of engine. It has an engine which has a lot of connections to a lot of nodes, edge devices such as the drones, both aerial and land-based and obviously also water-based. And how do we get data from something that's happening right now? As Fanny explained earlier, you train these large language models on the data that is basically in the past. So what can we do to fetch the data that's happening right now? And we talked about RAG, but as we know, RAG is mostly on static documents where you can fetch the information that you are requiring. But what about real-time data? Well, function calling can ask the central system about the data. We get it to... Yes, we fetch the data through an MQTT's broker, and we store it to our small local database. And this real-time data is let's say it's a string of the positioning of the agent, the time, the latitude, the longitude, and what its active task is today. Or right now, sorry. And then it works like in this flow. You have the client that requests a question with the natural language, so we can talk to the AI brain or the large language model and ask it, hello, I would like to access this type of information. And this creates an interface for us as humans to talk to the computers in a way that we couldn't really possibly do before. We could use our natural language, and it doesn't require an expertise in what functions or how do you call the functions. The language model interprets your question and makes these relations between what words and what functions you're actually seeking. And then as Fanny said, the language model correlates this question to a function that is described in its provided data, and then retrieves through that function what data is being asked for. And then when it gets back to it, it can parse the data to a more interpreted language for the human to understand. This is how the functions that were available in this WARA-PS demonstration. It would be a fetching of data that is needed for this task. So let's say you show what agents there are available. You get an overview of an agent, and then in that sense is the agent ID. And then you can as well get the distance between the agents and This is how we implemented it. This is just a web interface where you can ask the agent, the language model, show me all active agents, and then it fetches the data. It correlates your natural language question to a relationship with what function it has available. And something that's really, if you can pause the video, please. Something that is really nice about this is that now you don't have to be very specific with what you're seeking. You could just, you could see here, we have on number 17, we have the go.agent. You don't really need to specify, get me the go.agent. You could just say, where is go. And this is one of the most powerful things about these language models. It can make these connections with these relationships between these words and what you're really asking for. So it will... Oh, did I?
No.
so it will understand that you're looking for go.agent and not just go. And will not say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I have nothing called go. So it will make this connection, and then it will get the overview of the agent by parsing in the go.agent because, well, you meant go.agent. And here it gives you the information of the longitude and latitude position.
Sorry.
Is it something I'm touching here, maybe? Here's another example of the another function we are calling. What's the distance between these two agents, go. And agent 2? And it will calculate this distance by by bringing the longitude and latitude of the both objects and doing a arithmetic computation between how distant they are to each other. And here we can say, show me what all methods that are available to you to call. And here we just made 9 methods that we could demonstrate with. This is how we delve into the nerdy stuff. How does it look? How do you describe these methods or these functions to this AI model? Well, you will have declare the function get weather, and as you can see, you take an argument called the city, and then you fetch it through an API. But how does this really make sense to the model? Well, you have a schema that this model will read through and understand, and then you give it a description. Well, this fetches the current weather for the specified city, and that is the way that this language model makes the connection between what is the question asked by the user and what function should I use to provide the answer for that particular question. And it's, as it says, it's required a city. So in that question, what is the weather like in Skövde right now? Well, it makes it fetches from that question what city we are looking for, in this case Skövde, and then passes it as a API request to the, well, open weather map in this case.
Yeah, so anyone with a bit of knowledge about LLMs and generative AI knows they can hallucinate, they do a lot of things we don't want, and I think this is the next step, but actually integrating them with power, not just documents, but also live data. And we think it's a flexible way to integrate LLMs with real-world applications. Let's just say in WARA-PS you should highlight all drones flying over 10 meters. It's kind of an easy question, but trying to find it and navigate to it could be a bit trickier. So I look forward to those kinds of interactions with our applications in the future. And as a programmer, you get better quality of the response. You get the structure. If you saw in the videos, we actually had a clear, we didn't modify the result from our query. Get distance between agent 1 and 2, it was a clear, just tell the user this with a correct calculated number, not a made up number. And in that way you can also find, you can be sure that the answer is correctly calculated if you use the right function and the programmers did their work on their function. But the LLM doesn't hallucinate a distance that you don't comply with. So it's grounded in the real-time data. And some cons or problems, we had a bit of prompt engineering difficulties in the beginning. You need to not fine-tune. You need to refine your prompts a lot to actually get the LLM to find the correct function to use. In the beginning, it just activated them all and tried their luck, and after a while we narrowed it down so they could actually work with the correct functions. It's a differentiation between the functions and so on. And why we try this is that we don't use, in the examples, we have ChatGPT, APIs and so on, but we actually use local models on our own hardware. So we wanted to try out if our models are good enough for this and our hardwares. And they were, as usually with on-premise applications, they are smaller. They have a bit of understanding problem. They are a smaller brain, but they did the work really good after a bit of tweaking. And yeah, we used the Llama 3.1 for this one, and we had actually 2 different hardware setups. I think the small one went to WARA-PS with us. And I just wanted to show you the, what do you say, this is the demonstration. You can create agents to the WARA-PS system from home. We actually tried this with live data when we were there, but from home we could just create a drone, make it scan an area and a boat up and running. So then we go back to our application. We're fetching the data on the fly from the broker. So we're wondering where's the Skövde boat 1 doing right now. You can see it's 2 out of 6 waypoints and it's positioning. And in this way you can, as I said, talk to your data. And it's we would love to do more, as you always, when we're doing fun things. So we're thinking about the next step, actually guiding the drones by talking to them, telling the boat to go somewhere. That's the next fun implementation for us, we think. But over there.
And over. Thank you. So this was a very nice demonstration of how you can use the existing agents, drones, everything there, and the tools, and you added services that make use of that, and others can make use of your services, and we can bring in real users to play with the interfaces and evaluate. So this is very much the point of why this, how we want this arena to be, that no one developing everything as a black box. Instead, there's a mix of university stuff mixed with small companies and big companies, and so now when this function is there, we can use that in other projects, and it's like an app store more or less. And the way of working here, since we started up, we're working in a very iterative way. So we bring in new industries, researchers, and if you use your example here, we had a AI developing team in Skövde coming in, look at the demonstration, what others doing, got some ideas, and then get some data, use the system, play with that, and come back and then shared what you're doing, and then others got inspired. So this is and meeting the community, using the systems together, and sharing data and producing new insights, which leads to new collaborations. It will be better papers and better PhD students, because that was the initial the task from the Wallenberg Foundation. And in the background you see this is the real area where you showed, you saw the simulated agents play around. So last year we scored all-time high in the demonstration week. We had to set stop with 340 participants. Now we're aiming for, I don't know, more, but the interesting thing is 45 projects coming there and showing and do experiments together with different organizations. And we are now in the spring, we are aiming for this data collection event, and it will be the week 21, and we do that together with this US forum. I think someone has heard about that. It's a US conference going on every year since I think 10 years back, and this will be in Västervik and Gränsö, and we will do data collections demonstration on the same place there. It's going to be massive, but even more in September. So now very quick over to how do we use this in military innovation and dual use. And so last year we made a pre-study how we can use this the ecosystem for military innovation, and this is an open report. You can get it if you ask, and we pointed out a couple of different important questions that almost everybody works in if you are in the unmanned or UV, but one joint missions together with different different systems in different domains, navigation without GPS, and target destination and fast iterative loops, and then counter to protect from drones. So we got an offer to the government saying that we have done this together, academy and industry, you can step in now, we can do it together in REST. And we had a start here with a small start, but it's growing. So we have a swarm demonstration work with Combitech, and Geist is a company here, and we have FOE, FME. So this is a start, and we can add more activities on that. That's our task from Combitech to make it grow. And also from the report, very brief picture, but like a development model here, what we all want is we wanted to make it much faster from ideas and coming out in reality. And so a simple model here is to have we have this open arena, the WARA-PS, and there are also others that you share data, you work together, you can almost show everything if you don't show your code to others, but then you want to meet here and bring it more to the real problem, real scenarios, and be a little bit more strict, and then you want to hand it over for test and evaluation. And then it's a lot of mix of we have Vinnova, we have NATO Diana coming in. There's a lot of different fundings coming in from different parts, and I think we in Sweden, we from the different companies and academy, we can tie it together and make more projects together here. So just example, in Linköping here we have this civilian military innovation program. This is funded by Försvarsmakten, and LEAD here, the accelerator, is hosting 15 companies, and we have a task from Combitech here to support them, and this is just to highlight some of them: Safe Radars, Nuclear Vision, Space Metric, Iconic, and we're working here with Geist. Scale Out is a NATO Diana funded company. So those are here, and we try to make something that if they can work together like the way that you showed, you put the pieces together, make something bigger together, we will boost the innovation and make some really good examples. So together we lead the Science Park and Mälardalen University, some people around Combitech, we try to do this as open as we can and bring in more of those small companies and others. Saab is of course behind all of this, and so the way of working, bring in the challenges and do demonstration, get inspired, set up challenges, work with scenarios that really target the important things and got the end users to understand, and the stakeholders from the government, from FMV and defense, to capture the needs, put them into capabilities, because if you talk about capabilities, then the military understands, and within those there are a lot of technical solutions like we have seen here, and then we integrate it and we show it together with real activities. So hopefully this will speed up when you can all those different groups are talking different languages, but when you demonstrate in the right context, it will raise the eyes, and then we hope we can get fundings for new projects that are really what we're needing, and collaboration. So this was the last picture to just show what we're heading now with this. The arena is getting more and more a Swedish arena for defense and publication, public safety. And so we have the base with WASP. This is very unique because it's so long-term investment. And LEAD, civilian military program, is highly supported by the big companies and governments. And Combitech, Saab, FMV, MSB is a really heavy actors here working with public safety and defense. And to get back to where we come from as Combitech, we are a company with one leg and 1 foot in the military and one in the civilian. So taking solutions and activities that we have done in mining and other fields and bring that ideas to defense and bring it back. This is what we think will boost innovation a lot. So speed, collaboration, and this is a website where we put a lot of the data, and you can log in if you have an account. You can play with the system. It's always up and running, and then we are here. I think we can show things on our computers, and we are here for questions. So this will end our presentation. So now we have some time for questions. Good. Students are always awake.
Close to Västervik, and I'm often in Gränsö, but I've never heard of this. How have I missed this? Can I find any info about your next event there?
Yes. And we haven't spread the information too much. We haven't needed it because people come with talk, but you are very much welcome, and we will give you the address here so you can log in. You can see the next events, they are there, and you can sign up. And most of the events are open. So as a student, you will have master thesis, and you need contacts with the industry. That's one good way.
Thank you.
So, but we haven't announced it there because probably there will be a lot of people coming. So, but we haven't a problem with we invite all.
Other questions?
Ja, hör du? Shit. A more technical question, I guess. Those large language models that you post for the function calls. I read a little bit about the large action models kind of thing. Do they differentiate anything in your kind of implementation, that you can create models that are better at actually doing the actions instead of trying to poll a large language model?
That's the next year's test.
Yeah, I think that's another. That's something that we have to look into and evaluate which one would be best for this for the next iteration of this experiments. Or
the fun thing is that keeps popping up new ideas, new versions, new ways to do things, and it was half a year since we did this, so yeah.
And things move on very fast in this field, yeah, there is a lot of exciting new things to try every day, I would say.
But not a good answer.
No.
Yeah.
So, any others?
I think this is for you, Fanny. I'm not that myself deep into all this. That's why this presentation was very interesting. if I understood you correctly, you said the use of large language models now with the function calls, or actually the LLM decide which function calls to use.
Yeah.
And prior to that, before that, you said, okay, you could really risk these LLMs hallucinating, etc. What hinders the LLM to still hallucinate and only go for the function calls?
Yeah, that's a good question, because let's go back a bit. So this is just an example, but in real life, you got a lot of functions, not just get weather, but get snow, get something totally different about another things. And the first part is, should I use my brain or should I use a function? And in our case, we did kind of easy for us. You should use a function. And if it's not a function matching, you have this kind of jiggle room to answer on your own. And when we return an answer, we don't modify it, kind of not at all. You get what you get from the function. So from the function, you get a very specific format. In this is the actual text from our function. So this is the one thing we're returning. So the language model doesn't create or mixture with the response, and then I can see that it's using the function because I know the function format. And we at WARA-PS, we tried a lot of things to break this function. Like, can you hallucinate? That was the fun part. Everyone wanted to try. Can we get it to hallucinate? But we didn't manage to get it to avoid our functions. So it actually always went into the function or said, I can't do it. And that's one of the cons I talked about. The prompt engineering needs to be fine. You need to test it. Edge cases, does it actually work, and so on. And this is a bit like grounding it in truth and then just giving the truth to the user and making the user sure that it's actually using the function and nothing else. But yeah, is that an answer?
It's an answer, but do I understand it completely? No.
If I could add some things here, mostly when you do these kind of systems, you don't really, when you design these kinds of systems, you don't really have just one or two separate nodes, or you have more of like a flow, and like you could see it as you could go multiple ways, and the language models like chops down the question like to very small concrete tasks to do, and it makes the relationships. So when you tell it to, well, could you please get the weather for me, it's the first thing it does is, well, what options do I have? Is it something that I know? Probably not, because the model is trained for data that is older. Is it something that I have available in my collection of functions? Well, let's look through it, blah, 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 blah. And the descriptions of this function is this. Aha! I could fetch the data with this function. Let's invoke this function, and then running that function will return me some data, and then you will see the system will correlate this. Was it what was asked of me? This data, is it representing a high relationship between these nodes, or the question and the answer? Well, yes. Well, then it will present the answer to the user.
So in my opinion, you can hallucinate a lot in here. Do I know this? Yeah, I know this. I know the weather in Skövde, of course. It's 10 degrees, yeah. But if you go further down, you can hallucinate what city. Yeah, sure. But if you don't hallucinate what city, you get out a correct answer from them. And then you need to be sure in the answer to the user that I have used a function, I've put in these parameters, this is my answer, this is why I'm sure of it. But yeah, this function could hallucinate, and this is the prompt engineering part that we struggle with in the beginning, because you don't want this to hallucinate, because then it's no point, more or less.
I was just curious on if you call another LLM in that case, or do you use a pre-prompt to do I know this, or do you call something else in, like, what do you call in that box, do I know this?
Yeah, we had a very strict pre-prompt. You should know this, or you shouldn't say anything. And this is because we had a pretty small scenario. Like, you should only get answers about WARA-PS system and agents and this sphere. If you want a general, like, you should also be able to write poems and create writing stuff, then I'm gonna stand still. Then you have a bigger problem with the prompt engineering in the second box. But yeah, we were strict.
Could you like add reasoning to maybe get more depth of what model knows? Is that something that you have done?
Reasoning, thinking models.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to get to play with them a bit, but yeah, I think they can level up the game a bit more about, for example, deciding function, because this second step is kind of important, and the other parts are just programming, refining prompts and so on to make sure we have described the system correctly.
It's like on that note, now it's like the MCP protocol came out 4-5 months ago, something like that. Have you tried to look into that and how you can use this kind of system to other type of applications, and maybe set it up in a different way of how you select doing maybe step 2 in that sense?
We haven't, but we want to do more of those elaborations and so on. But we have a little bit of short of time, come and go.
Anyone can pick that up.
Yeah.
And try.
For the next year's WARA-PS, anyone?
So, one more.
For the AI developer, but like for the function calls, the functions are, I guess, Java or something. They're pretty straightforward to understand. Have you tried it with, like, say, C++ or something with templates or something more abstract? Does it work then?
Well, the example we showed here was just an example, right? It wasn't from our code, really. We did most of our code in Python, and we were, as we said, it was just a concept of if this would have been a very if this could be used for these type of applications, and it wasn't really developed upon it. If we didn't really go really through it that much, but
this is part of learning for us.
Yes.
Yeah, together with a real world example, which is fun. And now we need more learning. I think, yeah.
Yes, maybe this is a dumb question, but anyway, like these APIs, like I'm thinking like privacy concerns. If this were to be used for like military stuff, how can we be sure that someone is not reading our position values and stuff?
I should quickly go to this. Very good question, of course. Yeah, and so what we have seen now is examples and play here, and when we go more into here, we want to take this take this example, and we want to connect it to a more real protocol. then we play with here as long as we like, because it's much faster and easier to do things here, and we bring it here. Here we will, or possibly could add more real protocols, more safety, and so, and here is the real thing, so to say. So it's so what we're working on right now is we use this swarm demonstration work together we start here, and we go more and more here, and experiment with simulations and real activities, and so this is things. If you go to Västervik in September and May, you can see activities that wants to be shared here, because the people that go and show, they want to have opinions, they want to hire people maybe, and they want to work together with others. But when you come here, it's more closed. So you can be found here, you can be assigned to a project, and then you can be part of it here. So it's a very good. You need to separate that very much. But you can always bring in, like, I think that's what many want to do, is use the real system and add a function here that are not fully developed, so we can have a mix. But then you need to play in a more closed environment. Was that an answer?
Yeah, great answer. Thank you.
So we will say thank you very much for the presentation. An applause. Thank you very much. And of course, thank you for all the great questions today. Normally I do a question, but today I don't know that much about what you're doing, actually, so I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you very much. Hope to see you again one more time. The next Tech Tuesday is on Tuesday the 8th of April. It's NIRA Dynamics, which is on stage that day. And are you more interested in the AI in general here? Oscar, my colleague over there, he is our AI expert, VIP, master, top-notch, ultra thingy in the Linköping Science Park. So go and have a chat with him. Thank you very much, and thank you to all.
Thank you.
Oh.